Good morning, class 11 science student. We were discussing a chapter 4, that is chemical bonding and molecular structure. Today we will discuss a general characteristic of an ionic compound. The first one is electrovalent compounds are usually crystalline in nature. Second is the ionic compound have the high melting and boiling points due to the strong electrostatic forces existing in an ionic solid. The third one is the ionic compound and hard, brittle in nature. The hardness is due to the strong forces of attraction between the positively charged ion, and their brittleness is due to the movement of a layer of crystal on the outer layer by the application of external force when like ions come in front of each other so that the force of repulsion cause their breaking. Electrovalent compounds are fairly soluble in a polar solvent and insoluble in non-polar solvent. Due to the high value of dielectric constant of water, the electrostatic force of attraction between the ions decrease, and these ions get separated and ultimately solvated by the molecules of the solvent. The electrovalent compound dissolve in a solvent if the value of solvation energy is higher than the lattice energy of the electrovalent compound. Therefore, NaCl, MgSO4, etc. are soluble in water, but CaF2, PbCl2, BaSO4, etc. are almost insoluble in water because their lattice enthalpy is high and solvation or hydration enthalpy is small. The fifth one is the ionic compound do not conduct electricity in solid state. They conduct electricity in molten state and in solution. Aqueous solution of the ionic compound give an ionic reaction due to the presence of ions. These reactions are very fast. Sixth one is an ionic bond is non-rigid and non-directional. Therefore, these compounds do not show the stereoisomerism. These all are the properties, general characteristics of an ionic compound. Now come to the next. Born-Haber was a scientist who given the Born-Haber cycle. This is how the ionic compound is formed. In this, the Na plus, that is in gaseous state, plus B negative, that is in also in a gaseous state, they combined each other in 1 mole. Ab plus the energy released. This energy is known as ionic, that is lattice energy. In this you will see a figure, that is Na plus. Here we are having a step. One is the solid sodium changes into the gaseous sodium with the help of sublimation energy, and this energy is a positive energy. And the gaseous sodium atom change into the sodium ions by an IP, and this also a positive energy. It is a half mole of molecule chlorine dissociate into 1 mole of gaseous chlorine, and this energy is also a positive in case. And the gaseous chlorine atom change into Cl ion, that is when the chlorine accept an electron converted into Cl negative, energy release. Now this energy is a negative one. The sodium chloride ion are held together by the lattice energy electrostatic force, and the energy release is equal to the lattice energy. The total energy involved in the above 5 step will be, that is the sublimation energy, the bond dissociation energy, the ionization potential, electron affinity, and the lattice energy. Okay, and you can calculate this by substituting the value of NaCl, and you will get that lattice energy minus 787.5 kilojoule per mole. Next, we are having a covalent bond, that is a Lewis-Langmuir concept. The bond formed between two or more atoms of the same or the different element by the mutual sharing of an electron in order to complete their octet or doublet. In case of hydrogen is called a covalent bond. It may be a single, double or triple depending upon the number of sharing electron. Some example are hydrogen molecule, water molecule, methane molecule, oxygen molecule, ammonia molecule, ethylene molecule. In a covalent bond, we are having a subtopic, that is bond pair and lone pair, as it is shown on the figure, that is the shared pair of electron present between the combining atoms are called bond pairs, and the valence electrons not involved in sharing are called lone pair, etc. The next topic we are having the covalency and variable valency. As we have done the electrovalency, this is in case of the ionic compound, they are having an electrovalency. In case of covalent compound, it is have a covalency. Covalency is defined as the number of electrons contributed by an atom of the element for sharing with other atom in order to achieve novel gas configuration. The usual covalency of an element except the hydrogen is equal to the 8 number of group to which the element belongs. The elements having the vacant d orbital in their valence shell like phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, iodine shows variable valency by unpairing the pair and shifting the electron to the vacant d orbitals. Now look it over here that we are having a variable covalency of phosphorus, sulfur and chlorine. Valency the variable covalency of phosphorus. The phosphorus shows a covalency of 3 and 5. Now look it over the phosphorus, the atomic number is 15 at the ground state. It has 3s have 2 electron, 3p have 3 electron. In case of excited state, the 3s have 1 electron, 3p has 3 electron and 3d have 1 electron. Means in the ground state the phosphorus having a covalency of 3, but in excited state the phosphorus have a valency of 5, because 5 unpaired of electron is present in orbital, and as per the unpaired of electron it can combine with the further orbital of another to form a bond. Same in case of covalency of sulfur. The sulfur have a covalency of 2, 4 and 6. In case of chlorine it is 1, 3, 5, 7. These are called the covalency. In the next video we will discuss a formal charge. Thank you.